One team, one season, 1 hour, 2 creators, 2 rebuilds. This is the Rebuild Challenge. Welcome back to the Rebuild Challenge, where I challenge another creator every week to see who can do a better rebuild of a random team that we select from a wheel. We've each got an hour to rebuild our team, and then we put them into a simulation and see which one comes out better at the end of the season. So that means we've got to do transfers, maybe play the first couple of games if you like, set up the tactics, and then leave the game to do its work. This week, I've got a guy who's done lots and lots of rebuilds. I'd like you to welcome MurphFM. Murph, how's it going?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing great, mate. How about yourself, mate?
I'm good. So, rebuilds. You've been doing some rebuilds. So I've jumped in the deep end here. McKinn's last week hadn't done any rebuilds. This week, you've had some practice rebuilds. What rebuilds have you been doing?
I've done a handful. So I've done one, maybe Premier League clubs this year so far, just because it gets the views, let's face it. So we've done Wolverhampton recently. We've released Leicester in the last couple of days. And then we've done Stoke as well. So we've done the Championship as well. So I've been messing a lot with England so far, but we might go further afoot. So, I mean, if we get a team that's not in England, that could be a bit of a challenge for me. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, is that so? You Premier League, maybe it would be a good one for you. Are there any other leagues you'd like to try out? You've been doing a Serie A save.
So I've been doing Serie A this year. Obviously, my network save I do with Hood Gaming.
Hello,
so, I mean, I've had a bit of experience over there already this year. I haven't really touched much of Germany this year, and I haven't done like Holland at all this year. I've done like no video, like nothing to do with Holland at all. So Eredivisie could be quite interesting to do as well. Maybe even Portugal.
Yeah, you got to think about, the budgets are less in these leagues. You can't just go buy all the wonder kids. Okay, right. So let's find out what league we get.
Big spin. Oh.
Yeah, let's go in. We'll put some dramatic music on. Whoa, Liga Portugal, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Liga Portugal,
Can't
right.
afford this, actually. I haven't done anything Portuguese-wise this year, so...
You've not done any Portugal? Do you know, I don't even know if I've ever managed in Portugal. I don't know what the rules are. Murph, looking at this list, is there anyone on there that you would like?
I mean, the obvious ones would be the big ones, wouldn't it? Benfica, Sporting, Porto. I think you obviously get a bit more money to spend and a bit more to work with. But Boavista, quite interesting one. I used to like them growing up, sort of thing. That was an interesting one to try and have a mess around with. But like a Familiar Cow would be decent as well, sort of thing.
I don't know what the finances are like in Portugal, so I guess we'll find out. Portugal's not one I'm that familiar with, so this will be interesting. Going in blind. Right, let's find out who we get. Dramatic music. Benfica.
Oh,
Benfica. That's a fun one.
That's a good one. That's a fun one.
Right. I'm going to check if I've got any Benfica shirts now. I think I might have
Thankfully,
one.
you actually know the players for this team.
Yeah, that's
that
it. That's the good thing. So, right, we're going to do Benfica. We've got an hour to set it up. Well, we'll have it set up, and you've got an hour. Make your transfers, set up your tactics. If you want to play some matches, you can play some matches. Obviously, if you're in the middle of a match, stop at the end of the match if the hour ends. But you've got an hour to go away and rebuild Benfica.
Let's go.
1 hour later.
Okay, Murph, how did you find 1 hour to make the changes for Benfica?
It was a bit of a rush, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit methodical when it comes to looking at players. Sometimes I'll take quite a while looking at attributes, comparing to about 3 or 4 different players within the team. To differ, constantly looking at the clock, I'm just like, oh, hang on. Yeah, maybe, yeah. No, just pull the trigger, just take the players, just get them in, hope for the best. I mean, I'm happy with the players we've bought in. There's a lot more depth midfield. I felt there's the main area, that centre midfield role felt a bit bare, but it just felt a lot better now, the players we have bought in. So I want to first, we'll touch off. Actually, we'll go to the striker first. I did bring in a striker. It was Paulinho from Sporting I want to get onto first, because I thought we're going to one of our rival clubs here in Benfica, and we're taking one of their better strikers on loan as well. I don't know why they let him out on loan for the season, but...
You've just taken a player from Sporting. Are you allowed to do that?
You can't do that.
Why not?
Were the fans okay with that?
I mean, no one said anything. No one's complained about it. They were happy to get rid of him, and I was happy to take him because I know he's a great striker. The pressing forward, which I'm playing with, he ticks a lot of boxes. He's a big lad as well. So I think he's not the fastest, but he's got what I want. I want someone who can make a good work rate at 14. You can finish. You make those run in the box. Decent head in the 13 as well. 6'2". For a backup striker for Ramos, I felt like these guys ticked a lot of the boxes, and I thought, you know what? For a little cheeky low move, get Paulinho in. Why not? He does the business to get the goals. Hopefully, in the simulation, he does just that, though, fingers crossed.
Really good all round.
That wasn't
I'm looking at his attributes. Yeah. Great passing, great vision. The finishing, first touch is fine. Balance, strength. He's 6'2". I think you've got you could use him as a complete forward, deep line forward, advanced forward. However you really want him up top.
Touch up on the defender next, actually. We go to the defender next. We did bring in a free transfer in defence. Liverpool, I say Liverpool favourite. I don't think it was a favourite by anyone. Ragnar Klavan came in.
Ragnar Klavan is magic. He's got silky scales. Ragnar Klavan is magic. He's got silky scales.
I love in my centre backs. I'm a back two. I want a left-footed left back, a left-footed left centre back, and a right-footed right centre back. And we had one option you could play left at centre back, and I thought this guy's a good rotational player. 36 even. I'm getting his age completely wrong here. Where again, he lacks the acceleration, but actual pace isn't too bad at 13 for that age as well. Good jumping reach, 6'2". Decent enough heading as well at 15, which I love to see. And just he's again mentally he's absolutely stacked as well. 15 concentration, bravery of 16 as well. I did love that. Positioning of 14 as well, which is pretty key for centre backs as well. But then the basics as well, the tackling of 14, passing and marking of 13. He's not a bad free option really to be there as like that backup option, really, that ball playing defender. He's got exactly what you look for in a left forward centre back as well. So. No, for free as well. Can't
yeah,
complain.
I think for free, that's perfect. I'd be worried about the acceleration, especially at 36, but that is that high still at 36 is in a centre back is normally, pretty impressive.
Yeah. So there's two more, and we like loads it seems for this one because we're trying to rush people through the door, trying to save a bit of money where we can do, and not spend massive on a 1-year deal. Just thought get him on loan for a season, why not? So let's go PSG first, shall we? So we went and got former player. Renato Sanchez returns back to the club on loan for the season. I mean, he's a lot older now, 24 years of age. Of course, he's been around. He went to Swansea, he went over to Bayern Munich. He's been here, there, and everywhere. But returning this season to Benfica is Renato Sanchez. I mean, midfield-wise, he's just so complete as well. I mean, the high aggression is something to be worried about, and mentally, the few concentration of 12, I love that a little bit higher. But again, as a rotational player this season, it's not a bad option, really. Renato Sanchez, good strength, stamina's in there really well as well. Pace, agility, you can see them key highlighted already, that ball-winning role. So there's a lot to like about Renato, to be honest.
I'd be worried myself, maybe, that if I was playing as a ball-winning, his marking and tackling isn't high enough for me. But the passing and vision are okay. But the physicals are really good, like really physical player.
So the last one, Tommaso Pabaiga comes in from Milan. I mentioned about wanting more depth in centre midfield, and Pabaiga just has that. He can do so many different roles as well. He can play that deeper role, that more attacking role as well. Mentally as well, high work rate off the ball. Do love seeing that as well. Concentration, composure, anticipation of 15 as well. So mentally, he's very much got everything ticked the right boxes for me, and even physically as well. There's a lot of 14s in there, 12s as well. So there's no really, really low attributes in the physicals and the mentals. I mean, apart from his flair and leadership, which you don't really need for what he's going to be doing, sort of thing, realistically. And even technically as well, like, look at the crossing and the corners being low down there and free kick taking, but everyone else is above 10, 13s, 12s. It's a very well-rounded player. Someone, again, him and Renato probably be switching most likely in that midfield, but again, looks really solid. Yet to use him this year in FM, so I'm hoping he can be just like missing link midfield to like link the play going forward realistically. But we'll see how it goes.
And that's a solid set of players you've bought in. Okay, let's have a look at your tactic then.
Yeah, so tactically I was thinking basically, as I mentioned prior, like that back pairing, like Otamendi, he's not as great on that left foot as I want him to be, but he's still the best defender in that. He's probably one of the best players in that team. You can see on the star ratings in terms of rollability. He's bang on for what you want there, realistically. I mean, he is right-footed. That is my only concern with him being right-footed in that left centre-back role, but it's not the worst thing. He can do the role fairly well. He's played left centre-back in real life a couple of times now in real life, so with his height, he's got like big leadership, bravery as well, so he's really good to play there alongside young Antonio Silva. So that could be an interesting partnership to see how Silva develops alongside like Otamendi, the experience of Otamendi, but Silva looks really complete as well, mentally as well, which I'd love to see. Full back. I've got two wing backs on support with Gilberto and Grimaldo on each side. We're going for a sweeper keeper on defend, and alongside then two DMs playing as defensive midfielders just in front of them with Pabaiga and Florentino Luis starting in the lineup. Renato on the bench currently, but again, I did mention him and Pabaiga probably will switch out a few times this season. I'll see which one gets played the most really at the end of the simulations. And then we got an inverted winger on the right-hand side with David Neres, of course, being left-footed. Did it at Ajax, that sort of role, like cutting side to the left foot and getting shots at goal. I'm hoping he can do a lot of that. So we'll see how he gets on that side. Here's the one I was tempted to try and replace, really, but I couldn't really find anyone else in there, really. So I've gone for him starting there. But Guedes could go on that side, possibly, with Schroeder possibly going on that right-hand side if needed as well. So there's a few rotational parts in that team where they can kind of switch out quite easily. And again, Rafa can play out wide, he can play through the middle, but I do kind of like him in that middle role when I've looked at him in the past. So as the AM on support, he can do that job very, very well.
He does have a lot of pace. He's a very pacey player, Rafa. Acceleration.
Yeah, that's why they consider him. See, Shadow Striker was the other option for him as well, sort of thing, to use that running and getting him behind as well. But we'll see how he gets on in that AM role. I'm confident he can do it as an AM as well, just for what I'm looking for behind the pressing forward. I think that can offer a lot more support in terms of getting balls through to him. So we'll see how it works. I'm hoping he can do the business. But Ramos as a striker then as well. I mean, he's still miles above Paulinho, let's face it, man. He's only one. He can develop throughout the season. He's a really good pressing forward. So he has to start. But Paulinho is the option on the bench as well. Even Rafa could probably play out front if really needed as well. So I think we're pretty well stacked in every position and enough rotational options and everywhere across the pitch.
I mean, what did you think about the squad coming into it?
I saw there's a lot of fast attacking players. I mentioned Rafa's pace already, Neres and Guedes as well. They can all play a few different roles within that midfield, attacking midfield line. They can all probably jump up front if really needed to as well. So very good attacking options up there straight away. But I did think they were lacking that extra striker up there, which obviously we went Paulinho, and taking someone from a rival was always going to be a big scoop, really, sort of thing for this sort of team. But yeah, as you can see on the tactics there, so passing into space, because we mentioned a lot of that pace in that team this year, so we can pass the ball quite far forward into space, try and find those runners, playing with that high tempo, running the defence. We've seen got pressing forward in attack as well, so just constantly just pressing that back line and using that pace to try and counter attack and get the ball into their box.
And the club vision's not too bad for a rebuild, because they want to maintain the best youth system. I mean, that youth system is incredible. We really looked at that. The work within the wage budget. Are you working within the wage budget? Are you good?
Just about.
Oh, you're a long way under. You got 50k to spend.
I should have some more loans.
Yep, you've spent your transfer budget apparently, and grow the club's reputation, and that's it. And then in terms of what they want us to do this season, knockout stage of Champions League, win the Premier League, challenge for the Cup, and be competitive in the League Cup, and work towards being the most reputable team. So there's quite a lot going on there, but most of it's around just basically winning, because you're Benfica, doing the best you can in Portugal and doing all right in the Champions League. So it's possible that we've both hit the targets here, or we've messed up, but we'll see. Let's also have a look at who you sold. So you did get rid of a few players.
Yeah, a lot of them were youth players, but Chiquinho is the major one there, the very bottom you see there for a couple of million. That really helped get the last few deals over the line, thankfully, for us. He's not even part of the first team. He's good. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing really that wrong with him, but I thought he's not as good a midfielder as I'm looking for, really. So, I thought there's better options out there for the low move. I'd rather get them boys over the line. He wanted to leave the club anyway, to be honest. He's already transfer listed, so I thought, just get rid of him, get him out the door.
No, I want to compare him to
Pabega there straight away.
Okay. I did look at Pabega, but then when I looked at Chiquinho, I thought, I've already got Chiquinho. Maybe I don't quite need Pabega, but you can see Pabega actually probably is a bit better in some of the attacking and defensive capabilities and mental capabilities. Maybe Chiquinho's just that little bit more physical. Let's have a look then at my team and see who I sold and bought in and what I'm playing as a tactic. Okay, so I didn't really sell anyone. I had a bit of trouble trying to work out who I wanted to sell. A lot of them are really, really good youth prospects. So I was like, this is going to kick me if I sell this player who could be 5 stars. So we just got a couple of them out and put future fees on them. And then I only bought 2 players in. So I'll show you the first one. This was all of the budget was spent on this guy, along with a little bit of the future. You see the Samuel Chukwueze. I bought in pacey right winger. You identified it, and I felt the same. You'll have a quick look at my tactic here. That right wing side, I felt I needed someone better on the right wing. And I felt David Neres was the weaker part. And I feel like if I wanted to get anyone in, I wanted to get in an upgrade. And I feel like Chukwueze was probably an upgrade just about. There are some weak areas in Chukwueze's game. You can see here, probably David Neres is the more complete player. Chukwueze is that little bit cheaper, but he's that little bit faster as well on the wing, a little bit more defensive, better aerial. Actually, technically, it says Neres is better. Probably we get a better view on the attributes, though. You can see, both off the ball, You get Neres much better. Hopefully, the mentals are weak on Chukwueze. That is the main problem. But the
work rate
are pretty good.
like overtowers it straight away. The 8 work rate Neres what I saw straight away. I was like, I can't play someone with 8 in the work rate in that attacking role. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
So the two are pretty close. You get that little bit extra speed with Chukwueze, the little bit extra pace. You get the little bit extra jumping reach. But I thought I don't want jumping reach really in my wide players. It's not
a new England, not really.
So it's dribbling. I mean, when we're talking about 18 dribbling versus 17 dribbling, 17 technique versus 17 technique, is like neither here nor there. But yes, the off the ball does worry me a little bit. But I didn't sell David Neres, so I've got both of them. So Chukwueze was the one signing. Now, I thought, okay, I've got a lot of young players in this team. Who better than to show example to them? And maybe this is an error, but I got someone in on a free.
Oh,
Gareth Bale. I learned now again. This is from last week. McKinn's got Gareth Bale, and I had to question it because I was like, if you modded him back into the game, why is he still in the game? He is still in the game because we start in November, and we start in the summer, and he retires in November. So but because he's not at LA with the transfer update, he's no longer at LAFC. Sorry, he's no longer at LAFC. Yeah. Then he's a free agent.
Very confusing.
So you can get Gareth Bale on loan on a free transfer until November. I did ask him. What I did try to do was get him in and then ask him to reconsider retirement, but he wasn't having any of it. It's not bad. Like, I feel like if I just need a player to drop in on the left, on the right, in the middle, up top, like, why not Gareth Bale?
Yeah, when Big Sam eventually runs into someone being too fast and gets injured, he has no strength, Gareth Bale can come on for him, it's fine.
And like, technicals are some of the best technicals in the world.
Oh yeah.
Mentals are a mixed bag. The work rate is maybe a problem. The concentration is maybe a problem. The physicals are on the decline. But he's only going to be there for a few months. So, and I got to the point where I thought I've spent all my money on one player. I'll have to get someone else in. So Gareth Bale has also come in. We'll have a look at see how he does in my team. So this is the tactic. Like I said, I didn't make any sales really. All I've done is pushed. I wanted João Mario on, so I pushed João Mario forward and put him down as a DLP. Then we got Rafa and Ramos up top, like much the same as you. Did you have Guedes out on the left or in the centre?
Guedes on the left, yeah.
Okay, so Guedes on the left. I've got Chukwueze in on the right, but of course, if I wanted there, and David Neres can drop in. I'm also expecting Sheldrup to play a bit. How he develops over the year is going to be absolutely key, I think, to success. Because this is the year that he develops a lot normally. I mean, do you know, I'd never looked at Orenz. I don't know how you say his name, Ornez. I'd never looked at him before. Absolutely insane mentals.
Oh, mentally, he's absolutely like bravery of 17, their concentration 17, work rate of 17 as well, and the 16 in there as well.
Positioning, off the ball, decisions, concentration, like so many 17s, 16s, 18s in there. And the physicals as well, 18 stamina, 17 balance. Like, he's maybe a little bit slow, jumping reach, so he's not going to be a jumper. Like, that's
as a quick one. Where he's actually came from? Because I'd never actually heard of him before.
No, I hadn't. He's come from Feyenoord this season. Yeah, in January window.
Bargain to Mulder as well.
So he must be one of those massive upgrades in the January transfer update. Apparently, he's not even played for Feyenoord this year, so maybe he came at the start of the season. But I think he might be a big January upgrade. Passing. Like, even on the technicals, passing's good, first touch good. But yeah, like you said, I hadn't seen him before. Really tackling, he's not a player I'm familiar with. I don't follow the Portuguese league necessarily, so unless they come up in Europe, which he probably has, but I don't know who Benfica have played this year. I don't think they're in the competitions anymore in real life. I think they've been knocked out. Someone will correct me and say they're playing tonight or something. It's Thursday the week before this is going out, in case anyone's wondering, in the Europa League. Oh no, did they play last night? They played last night. What am I on about? They played Inter Milan.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. But they got knocked out. They're not in Europe anymore, so I am correct. I am correct.
Technically, you are correct by 24 hours.
I had the City match open. I think he could be really useful in my midfield. So I was surprised when you didn't have him starting. But you said you had Luis. And yeah, Luis is okay. To be honest, I was split on Luis as to whether to actually keep him. I didn't quite like his passing. I like midfielders, even if they're
it's more the defensive attributes for like playing that DM role. I felt like he can develop sort of 22 quite well. So I thought, we'll put him in the start. I mean, the way it's set up for the simulation, he probably won't play most of the games anyway, but I'm interested to see how he gets on. I liked his high work rate and his teamwork, positioning as well. So I thought, we'll see how he does there. Yep. Again, Pabega's there, Renato's there, Onies is there as well. So there's a few players in that role now. Like, there's a lot more depth in there now, which I do like. And Jean-Marie can't really play the DM role for me. So I was like, he's naturally the one that sits out. He probably could do it like a risky, like just about, but I don't like his tackling and his marking. So I was
it's not good.
If anything, you probably play out on the wings or in the cam role, most likely for me, if anything.
Yeah, I did feel like he was quite quick enough for me out on the wing. So I thought, right. And I didn't really need him on the cam role because I had Raf. So I thought, right, if I want to use Mario, I've got to put him as a playmaker in the middle there. So, 16 passing, 16 vision, technique, balance, composure, decisions, first touch. I felt like some of those attributes are too good to not include. Especially, we should be winning this division, I think, or should be close to winning it. And there's some other good players. Now I've got Neres on the bench. I've got Scheller up on the bench. I've still got Chiquinho, of course, in there if I wanted. Martin Neto could develop nicely. He's only 19. So there's a few in there that could be quite useful. Lucas Verissimo, actually. I forgot we had Lucas Verissimo as a defender, but he is out injured for a little while. 2 to 7 weeks. Only start the season, though. We've got Draxler as well. Draxler's there. I don't think Draxler's any good. 28. Draxler's so bad now.
I think he looks awful, man, honestly.
Yeah.
He was in my plans. I was like, I've got to send him back to PSG. I'd send him back straight away. First class ticket, on you go, on the plane. He ain't good enough no more, man. The passing's good and the vision's good. Like, if he's kept as advanced playmaker, possibly, sort of thing, you just got a bit more stationary, possibly, or something like that. Maybe even like an engage or something, but otherwise, just there's none of that. I mean, he can still run technically, I suppose. Acceleration of 12, agility of 13, pace of 12, but he can't really do. He's very stationary for me, sort of in the way I look at it, and that low work rate as well. Like, I don't want him doing the running if he's got no work rate.
Like, he's not going to put in anything defensively to your team, so he has to make up for it attacking wise. But he's well below anyone else. Basically, he's got a bit of technique and dribbling and first touch, and that's it. And then you compare him to like let's choose Rafa, for example. Rafa's pretty close to that. You bring in Guedes. Guedes is probably pretty close to that. That he's not bringing anything special. Mario's probably pretty close to Mario's better even on that. So like, what's he bringing? That's what I've done. So really, only Chukwueze and Bale in are pretty similar. Like in terms of my style. Actually, I went attacking, which could be an error. But I thought if we're the best team in the league or one of the best teams in the league, I probably want to go out on the attack. And maybe I should have just left it unbalanced and let my assistant decide. My tempo is a little bit lower as well, and I got work into it. I should probably now look at yours. I'm thinking probably I should have gone for pass into space and run at defense. But otherwise, it's pretty similar. Actually, I've got a slightly higher defensive line and a mid block, but I didn't adjust it too much. I sort of went for this is almost the control possession default. So I thought we're going to try and control games and see him out that way. That might work against me, and I can't break some teams down because we're just not chucking enough at it. And I'd hoped the mentality would sort of override that a little bit because I haven't got many players on attack either, like I mentioned. So
I think so, and with that lower tempo as well, the DLP sort of thing should be spreading that ball out wide to those wide players never cut inside anyway and bringing it all together, hopefully. So
yeah, I was hoping to dominate some games. We'll see. Right, let's go find out then. We'll start with mine. Okay, right, I finished 4th. Is that the end of the season? 18 teams, it is. I finished 4th, which is not great. Porto have absolutely stormed the league. Sporting are there, and Rio Ave are there. Like, I don't know where Rio Ave have come from.
Are they stuck up there?
They're just... I mean, who have they got in their team? Costinha? It's not great though. He's all right. It doesn't look like we've done great. Down in 4th, 61. This is not looking promising. I think this is going to go down as 2 for 2 for the guests. We're looking at this
never
already.
say never.
Well, we'll see. So Ramos, 33 goals. I'm pretty happy with that. Like,
yeah, it's a good return.
That's solid. My one last week, I only got 10 goals out my top goal scorer. So the goal scoring wasn't a problem. He has developed nicely as well. Now let's have a quick look then at the competition, see how we did elsewhere. Champions League, we got knocked out by Monaco. Oh, it's tight as well, 3-2. Europa League got knocked out by AC Milan. Oh, I got 2 runner-ups in the cups as well. Just runners up. Wow. I mean, at least we got runner-up in the cup. What's the board saying? They're probably unhappy about most stuff. Win the Premier League.
The wages
latter stages.
A few fails.
Yeah, the wage budget. Oh, do you know what? I had a problem with the wage budget, and I think I couldn't couldn't adjust it. Yeah, a couple of faileds in there. The only things we were competitive in is the cups. So I'm on an E. That's pretty bad. And an F for the supporters. So, I mean, let's have a look. It started out, I will tell you, pretty well with the 2-0 win over Porto. So it started out pretty well because I actually managed to play both. I thought I'd managed to play both of those games and get ourselves through. And then we had Porto, a draw with Monaco, okay. And we drew with Estoril Pariah. We lost to Casa Pia, and then it's just, you can see there are spells where it's looking pretty good. This is a good run here. Now, last time I was screwed. In fact,
so you beat Sporting 3-0 there, so something was going right, clearly.
I mean, look, I haven't actually lost a game. I lost 2 games at the start of the season, and then I don't lose again until that's a cup game. And then the end of the season, we just drop off. I don't know how we've lost so many points. I'm trying to work it out now. I think just this end of the season, you look actually when you take out the cup games.
Yeah, maybe just too much, include the Europa League in there as well, sort of thing.
Loss. Yeah, too many losses in there, towards the end. That Inter Milan match is really close as well. Look, 1-1 to 3-2. Lost to Porto on penalties.
Who's the other final versus as well? Was the other final against Porto as well? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Lost extra time. So it's not great. I mean, definitely. I wonder where I was if I'd have gone back to, let's say, probably here, where I've only lost 2 games.
Top 2, surely.
I must have been. Although, let's look at how good Porto did, because if they got that many points, have they lost a match this season? They've lost to me. They lost one game, the first game of the season to me. You can't compete with that. That's impossible.
You can't.
But I lost 11, so about 7 or 8 of those are 9 of those must have been the tail end of that season.
But everyone's watching this video, they want to know, Gareth Bale, what did he do? Come on.
Right, Gareth Bale. But here he is. He played 7 times and he got 0 goals.
Oh, Gareth.
And that was it. That was, I think that's a bit of a failure on my part. Do you think you've done better?
Stinker.
I mean, let's have a look at one of these matches just to see if, let's say I lost 3-1 to Santa Clara. We shouldn't be losing 3-1 to Santa Clara. I had 71% possession.
17 shots, 6 on target.
Look at the XG table. Look at the XG table, and I've lost it.
6.5 as well.
I mean, I am controlling the possession, like I said. 2.63, and I haven't scored a goal. Mario missed a penalty. Let's go find out how you did. All right, moment of truth. Oh, you've won the league. You've only gone and won the league. Congratulations. I'll put a little round of applause in there. I mean, the weird thing is, Porto still scored around the same number of points. But
João Mario got the golden boot.
João Mario, 34 goals. Yeah, look at that. That is insane. Right, let's take a closer look at that league table. So you lost 2 games. So I lost way more games, and you only drew 3.
You scored 110 goals, though.
Yeah, you absolutely smashed the goals. You scored 11 goals against Santa Clara. That was the team that just beat me that we were looked at. The team that I dominated, and they beat me 3-0 or whatever, 3-1. Yeah, I think you smashed this one. Porto Sporting. I mean, you're 6 points ahead of Porto, so it's not bad.
Let's go.
So, right, you've definitely won this week. It doesn't matter what you've done in any other competition. You've definitely won this week. So it's 2-0 to the guests. But let's go have a look anyway, see how your players did. So, Champions League. Well, you went through in the Champions League. You got knocked out by PSG.
Bad.
You did win the Spanish Cup. The Portuguese Cup, not Spanish Cup. You had to have done pretty well to win the Spanish Cup. The Portuguese Cup. You got knocked out in the semis by Braga in the. So I think I win because I did better in the league.
Oh yeah,
right? That's how this. That's the one everyone cares about. 2
trophies, 2 runners up. I think runners up was better.
and I also did better in the Europa League. So yeah, that counts, all right?
I wasn't in it.
Okay, now you're pushing it.
Okay, yeah, you definitely won. You got knocked out by PSG. Let's have a look how you did against, what was that PSG match? Quarterfinals, that is. 2-0 away, and you drew 3-3 at home. That's a solid effort against PSG.
You're not Barcelona, though. That's class.
Yeah, you have. You've knocked Barcelona out. Any other big ones in here? Who's in your group? Red Star Belgrade, Frankfurt, and Sevilla. Okay, I'm going to be honest. That sounds like an easy Champions League group. I don't know how you managed that as a Champions League group.
That's a pretty easy group.
That's a gift of a group. But, you knocked out PSV on the way, Sturm Graz. But that's still, I think that's a solid effort. Let's have a look how your players did. Vega played most of the games, a 7.13 rating on average, or 7.07 across all the tournaments. Yeah, it's declined a little bit, I think.
I'll tweet with you, son.
Yep, you've only got him on loan, so send him back. Send him back. Renato Sanchez. He didn't play as much. He didn't get a great rating. What did he get? 2
No, it
goals,
wasn't
3
a
assists.
rotational, wasn't it, ideally?
Good rotation option, though, yeah. He played quite a bit in the Cup. Good ratings in the Cup. And you won the Cup, so... Paulinho, a slight concerns, probably because he's not playing by the looks of this.
No, he's not
Good
playing.
ratings in the Champions League, though, yeah.
Ragnar. What are you saying, Ragnar? He's played a few matches.
You played
on the bench
him
as well.
Yeah, you played
He's
him off the
going
bench.
on up. His attributes going up at age 37.
Wow, his acceleration and agility have gone down. Because they were above 10, weren't they? I think the agility's gone down 3 or 4.
Technically and mentally, he's on the rise.
Technically, mentally, he's gone up, yeah. Good, solid. 37 years old now. Is he retiring? Wants to feature more in the first team. No plans for the future.
Ragnar, you're 37. Calm down. Calm down.
Time to hang up the boots. Let's have a look at someone like Sheldrup.
Did you play him?
See, Sheldrup didn't feature
Not
much.
really.
So, they sort of need him to feature to level up.
Load him out. I'd see Mario. This is the confusing one here because I didn't have him as a starter. And
Do you want to see him because I said level up? Is that the reason? Yeah, João Mario 20. Yes, so João Mario's worked out nicely. 7.53 in the league, which is really that's an average rating across 33 matches.
Can you on the report see where he actually played them? Because obviously I play with 2 DMs. He must have played out wide. I'm guessing is one of the inside forwards on the form, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's played mostly. They played him out on the left. 32 games out on the left, 21 goals, 7.43 rating. And when he's played on the right, 7.6. And when he's played across the middle there.
What a player! I had him on the bench.
Who knew that João Mario was a goal scoring machine? I mean, what's it?
Absolute unit.
He has got good composure and finishing, to be fair. I think 30. His attributes gone up.
It's a good return. It's a very good return for João Mario.
Yeah, much better than my João Mario.
Love a left back.
That's it. Wait, you got 2 goals from Julian Draxler?
Let's go, Drax.
You got some goals from Julian Draxler. They played Draxler for you. Julian Draxler out on the right. 7 games, 1 goal. Out on the left, 5 games, 1 goal.
Look at that. Can't even get Draxler scoring.
There we go.
Give me the job.
Look how many green lines I've got there.
Lines galore.
I know.
It's like being in a men's bathroom at a nightclub.
He also came up with a really great joke, like on the spot, that had to do with the situation. And then the second.
Okay, let's see how my team were used. I did get 33 goals from Gonzalo Ramos, which is pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with that. But no one's got an amazing rating. The defenders have probably got the best rating. Probably because I imagine, looking at what's happened, they've just passed it around the back line for an hour. Chukwueze, 35 games, only 8 goals and 6. He got a 7.8 average rating though, which isn't bad. Okay, Murph, thank you for joining me and absolutely thrashing me and beating me.
All right.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's all right. That's all right. If people want to see more of your rebuilds or what you're doing on stream, where can they find you? Let us know what you're doing. Go on. You got a minute or two to plug yourself.
Everywhere, MurphFM everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. I have a second YouTube channel where I do different games as well. That's linked to all them places as well. It's all on LinkedIn as well, so you can find it all on that. I'm sure I'll have some links down below, some stuff anyway. Yeah, but yeah, everything's over there. I am about to start a new Twitch save in the coming days, but I haven't actually. I don't know what's happening yet. Basically, I have no idea what I'm doing.
You haven't decided on a team.
No, I mean technically.
Do you want me to spin my wheel?
We might have to. We might come to that. So I haven't decided yet what I'm doing for new Twitch save, but I'll be back every Monday and Friday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. And on Wednesdays, I stream with Hood Gaming every Wednesday, doing our network game. Well, yesterday I actually won the treble with Roma. So
you won the treble. I bet Steve was upset about that.
Yeah, he finished third behind Inter and me, so he wasn't best pleased.
Yeah, that's it. What about on the YouTube? You got any rebuilds or tactics coming up on the YouTube?
Yeah, there's rebuilds, tactics most weeks, experiments. So like last week we had one, we gave Edison 1 attribute across the board. Every clean sheet he kept, he got boosted, another attribute. We've got, by the time this comes out, we'll have one to do Erling Haaland. He's 4'11" and he's 6'11". Which one's better? Tall Haaland or little Haaland? So you can find out the results in those sort of videos. And there's loads of fun experiments, tactics, rebuilds, all that good stuff on YouTube. So again, MurphFM everywhere. And if you're still here as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Si as well, please. Oh, cheers. Yeah, thank you. If you enjoyed this, actually, Murph, I'm going to ask you one final question. Who should I be facing next? And don't say Steve, because I'm not ready for Steve, clearly. Oh, I know. I think because he doesn't really do many bigger teams, I think you should invite Tony on. Tony Jameson. Yeah, I think we go for Tony. I'll have to chuck in some lower league teams for a rebuild. Do you think he's too much of a purist for a rebuild, Tony? He's for 1 season. He can do 1 season's worth of transfers. It might take him a couple hours. I don't think he'll do it in 1 hour though.
No. That's the challenge. Yeah, I've got to. You only got 1 hour. You've only got 1 hour. It's the time is ticking. I've got to get out of the habit of signing bail now. I've now that McKinn's let me in on that trick, but it didn't work out for either of us. So that's
not really.
Maybe I've got to drop him.
I was hoping for a final overhead kick, but he didn't get to the final. He's already retired.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been good.
If only.
No goals. Anyway, Murph, thank you very much. If you guys want to check out some of the other videos in this series, make sure you go click this button here, and I will see you guys next time.